Okay, so we settle our mind and all leading all these prayers. And now, first thing what I want to do is I wanted to keep all transmission of 8 verses mind training. All transmission is kind of, when I read 8 verses mind training in Tibetan, and you feel it, and sometime, and you feel it, the all transmission received into you. And also, all transmissions are very important, but sometimes it kind of, when you look around, it looks meaningless because they read it, there's no explanation, there's nothing, just you hear it. And also, Kangyur oral transmission, and Kangyur is one of the Buddhist verbal teaching. There are over hundreds of books. It takes sometimes it's 6 months, sometimes it's a year or something like that. So just read everything. There's no explanation, everything. So therefore, some traditional oral transmission is so important. Also, you are going to give us oral transmission. Where you receive this oral transmission, who's your teacher? What is his teacher? It's kind of lineage teachers. Go all the way to either Dorje Chang or either great Buddha, so something like that. So oral transmission also planting seed of these teachings into you, like energy level kind of type of thing. And also some schools are very strict, and without oral transmission, you don't receive any other commentaries and so on. So it's kind of like that. So, and years ago, maybe 30 years ago, His Holiness gave oral transmission at monastery. There's a Swiss Tibetan monk. He's a Switzerland citizen, and so he criticized because of, he said, this is not for us. There's no explanation. You just read, doesn't hear anything, doesn't mean anything. So it's kind of like that. So means he misunderstood oral transmission was life to life transmission. So not a recording, not video, and no YouTube or nothing, So it's kind of orally. It's kind of, when you really think about it properly, it's kind of hard, like now. Since COVID-19, everything become almost like Zoom thing, It's work also, in home work and something like that. So therefore, I'm going to do, this will definitely some meaningful rather than my actual talk. So I received it numerous oral transmission from His Holiness and many other teachers. So I'm going to give you this oral transmission. This will be, I believe you received some, some kind of Dharma seed, and also I received many times. When I look at it, 8 verses mind training in the YouTube, there's numerous Dalai Lama gives so many times, and many other teachers also gave him so many times. And I considering this 8 verses mind training is like very portable, useful for everyday life. So when used to be not in my daily prayers in 8 verses mind training, and since I added that in my daily prayers, and my day make better. It's kind of, think about what did I eat breakfast, like something like that. Or lunch, I don't want to eat egg. I already ate egg this morning or something like that. So it's kind of, I shouldn't react like that. What I said this morning, when you interact with other people and this and that, you should behave, something like this. So kind of, through that way, it makes my day. So So now I'm going to read oral transmission. Sangi Chota Sogi Sonam La, Chanjubata Tana gives Taga Jesuji, Sonam, Gitorabin, Sangi Drovi, Sangi Chota Sogi Sonam, Chanjubata. Taga Jesuji, Sonam, Gitorabin, Sangi Drovi, Sangi Chota Sogi Sonam, Chanjubata Tana gives Taki Jesuji, Sonam, Gitorabin, Sangi Drobo, Show, Danis Jetamjela, Ishin the Wool Hill Habit, and Judube, somebody. Tazo Jeba Zimbasho, Kanto Sudan Drobite, the equal mentation, Shela Samba Tabaya. Chose Jeba Zimbasho, Jordan Gundu, Rangula, Tajin, Makemata, Dajimaru, Jevis, Tenzo on the Dovasho, Rajin, Besim Jela, the Linda Wignetonch. Rejected the Yabata, Yabaka Zimbasho, Tala Shingi Tatobe, Shigula, so Mijish, Kungarangi Yabata, Yagamela Pimbasho, Kanataki Pentabe, Rewacha, Gashishi, Shindimission, Nejin. Shinga Tamba Devasho, Donangos will give a pendaman column, my never do same with Tato Lembash, the Queen Chi gave it over to Shimbesole Droba show. Okay, so next we all have 8 verses mind training book. So let's read one time together. Then maybe I highlight a few of them, and then we will do a little discussion and a meaningful get together. Okay, so lead Lama lead the 8 verses maintained in English.
Okay.
Read all together.
By thinking of all sentient beings as more precious than a wish-fulfilling jewel for accomplishing the highest aim, I will always hold them dear. Whenever I'm in the company of others, I will regard myself as the lowest among all, and from the depths of my heart, cherish others as supreme. In my every action, I will watch my mind, and the moment destructive emotions arise, I will confront them strongly and avert them, since they will hurt both me and others. Whenever I see ill-natured beings or those overwhelmed by heavy misdeeds or suffering, I will cherish them as something rare, as though I'd found a precious treasure. Whenever someone out of envy does me wrong by attacking or belittling me, I will take defeat upon myself and give the victory to others. Even when someone I have helped or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me very unjustly, I will view that person as a true spiritual teacher. In brief, directly or indirectly, I will offer help and happiness to all my mothers and secretly take upon myself all their hurt and suffering. I will learn to keep all these practices untainted by thoughts of the 8 worldly concerns. May I recognize all things as like illusions and, without attachment, gain freedom from bondage.
Okay. Now, I'm just going through briefly each verses, and I just did little homework. And you know, when you think about it, each verses, you know, you can think, you can talk about it. First verses, you know, days and days and days. It can kind of connect it to everything. So, so also, you know, this practice can be difficult, but you know, you have an enemy, you have a loved one. You know, your loved one become your enemies, and like forget about the entire sentient beings. You know, surrounding by you, and you have difficulties. You know, like respect each other, understanding each other. You know, so many things. So therefore, you know, one of the practical thing is Buddhism is you do your best. You know, if you cannot think about all sentient beings, you can think about your surrounding, you know, families and friends, things like that. And so when you think about those, your treasure, and we just normal, we think about treasure, it's kind of hard. And so these human beings, directly, indirectly, indirectly, so beneficial. I mean, we a country of coffee drinker, We little coffee grow in Hawaii. In the rest of the country, we doesn't grow coffee, So we crazy about coffee. First day in the first you wake up, you just grab, cup of coffee and make your day. So therefore, how that happen in front of your table or in front of your kitchen or in front of a kitchen or the coffee shop or so on. And, so cup of coffee, you can think about it, kindness. How many people involved in this cup of coffee? You just selfishly say, I paid it, I bought it, my money, and so on. So cup of coffee, who planted, who made that, who grounded, who made that happen in this shop, or that grocery shop, or that coffee shop, or so on. So it's kind of one person, it's impossible to do it, So therefore, everything else, so you're necessary coming from others. So, some people say, my money, where is your money? Did you print your money yourself? No. So how you get money? Somebody offer you a job or you work hard or something, they get paid. It's also coming from others, So therefore, when you think about it, kindness to the other, there's some sense of meaning. Other than that, we all, train in selfish, like your money, your house, your clothes, your car, your community, your country, yourself, look after yourself, some kind of all precious human being ingredient by, selfish. So when you think about a detail, and there's nothing too selfish about, start to, analyzing your every necessary thing, your clothing to your shoes to your sunglasses to your medicine, everything is come from others. And then the other way around, you're also part of making those available. You work and it benefits some other people. So it's kind of, it works both sides. So therefore, there's a huge meaning of we extended our generosity, our love, our kindness to others. Like famously they say, love your neighbor, love yourself, kind of stuff. And first, your neighbor is your family, your wife, your children, then goes next neighbor, and then next neighbors. Neighbor is endless. So, didn't say you love your family, you love your neighbor. So neighbor, which one is neighbor? There's endless neighbor. Nowadays, entire world is connected, In one country, economic clash, the others clash. And one disease, spells, everyone had that. And then within that, nowadays, kind of very momentarily, it comes, We're experiencing all this COVID-19. So that means, very intelligent way and think about others' kindness. And so, then every sentient being become your loved one. How wonderful is, there's no enemy. Imagine there's no enemy. And now, after 50 years, 60 years, we all not want to be here in this earth. So we are unnecessarily, we just ego and selfish and all these things, we just fighting, and here and there, all this kind of unnecessary, we making our life difficult. And wonderful environment, we don't know how to enjoy it. How a wonderful life, how we don't know how to enjoy it. And little thing makes huge difference. So now everything is like almost fair base, consumer and all these things, corporate America, and I used to say nobody owns anything, You paying bill, but nobody owns anything, like corporate America owns and pharmaceutical owns, insurance company owns everything. So we are kind of slapped by them, like so we work hard and things like that. So therefore, the others are very important, and every sentient being become your, indirectly your loved one, and there's no enemy. And nowadays, like country to country, they invest most money for the difference. And people doesn't have enough to live on their daily life, but millions of trillions they're investing. And poor countries are buying all this, harsh kind of machine guns and bombs and all these things buying. And they think someday enemy will be take over, and then we have to have those to defend our country. So therefore, yeah, there's such an enemy. Real enemies is within ourselves. Our, jealousy, hatred, anger, all these negativities is our number one enemy. So therefore, like first, the line is considering very important, and just it's like more like a treasure to me. And then we second one is we just we don't live home all the time. We just interact with every day. We just go out and, every day you have to go to work, and then you interact with the people, and so analyzing yourself, judging yourself, how mentally healthy you are, how, what you say, how you mean it, like. So we have to repeat every time you say, I mean it, So we have to. If you mean it, you don't need to repeat again and again. So it's kind of there's something is there. So really not mean it, I mean it. So if you being humble and very very less kind of danger to be somebody disrespect to you. And I have an example of my mother was very humble, and when she need to go somewhere, and my friends and family said, I'll take your mother, and so she is so humble, very easygoing. So it's something like that. So it's kind of humbleness makes vibrate other people's energy, and then just you get just accepting, So that's very very important another thing. And one of the greatest to share your loved one, whoever is not labeled or Buddhist or whatever, and they might say atheist or whatever, family share, nice conversation is like 8 verses mind training. It's nice conversation to, get together once a year. We get together. Let's discuss it rather than politics, rather than some other business. This will be wonderful to, because there is nothing mentioned to. You have to believe Buddha. You have to worship Buddha. You have to do meditation. Kind of those kind of things didn't mention in this simple, mind training layout and put in 8 verses. So if you can, you memorize. That will be very wonderful. And then morning when you drive to the job, whatever, walk to the train station, whatever, just say it. It definitely helps. So then I think like third verses is like almost similarity of exchanging self and others. Some kind of, like almost like tonglen practice. Like giving your happiness and joy and everything to your others' sorrow, suffering, pain, struggle, taking to you. So physically you cannot do it, but mentally, when you do it, you can be more helpful for that person. So also, if you are, for example, if you don't have a sense of harmness, and that person or animal, whatever, they vibrate it. Once they vibrate it, and they have a less scare to you, more open for you, more gentle to you. So kind of the practices, you have to start from yourself. And if you looking at, judging, negative way to judge, and you don't have to do anything, they just vibrated that, and sense of dislike or sense of scare or sense of, things rise because of your energy vibrated to others. So therefore, trying not judge, especially negatively. We just do, tomorrow I'm going to go to party, so I dress up nicely, look presentable, but inner presentable is more important than external. External, anybody can do it. Even you don't have money, you can rent, right? You rent really, really expensive one. So inner is harder to rent, nobody will rent it. Inner, so kind of like that. So, like practices, they say, when you, in the ocean, you throw a little stone in the ocean, the vibrations go from where the center drops and it goes from there, right? The vibration goes from there. So practice should be like that, from your side, and reach the other end. So, so it's kind of your inner preparation. Inner preparation also not like not like easy like Tantrayana, self-generation and like emptiness and things like that. It's not easy like that. It's a lot of the study requires, and study which is authentic teacher and authentic book and great the guide, and you follow guide and through the according to the instruction, and then there is a very much chances to be achieve that level. Otherwise, wonderful level, wonderful things remain in the class or temple or in the teaching place, and then when you go home, you just remain exactly the same person. So therefore, I always think that tonglen practices like giving and taking practices all about you, all about making yourself energetic, like patience and more capable, more givingness, something like that. So example, for example, exactly two shoes, similar two shoes, one brand and everything. The other day, my niece and I went together in shopping, and she went to one of the expensive shoe shop. She went and she said, "Oh, this is too expensive. I wait for sale, and now sale's coming next." So then it was 160 or something like that. Then we went to another shop. They have a sale, and that one, $80. Like almost 50%, right? So she, oh, this is too much, like compare 160, 80, still, never enough. She wished like in 40 or 50, like it's not going to happen. So it's kind of like that. So what is my point is, you just, I want to help my grandma or my loved one 6 hours. And then easily you can, do 4 hours. You just motivate it, So therefore, tonglen practice is more or less like, build up your patience and strength and energetic and so on. And otherwise, like say, oh, this is too much, I can't do it, Like you even didn't try. Years ago, my friend's mother died, and me and my niece, we take care of her mother. And she said, I'm so tired, I have to go back and sleep, and tomorrow morning I'll come back. Okay, and then she died. She was sleeping, she was so tired and went back to her home and sleep. And during that time, we are there, but she died. So it's kind of, we have so much power in ourselves, and so we have to acknowledge, we have to motivate it, we have to put effort, and body self have so much healing. So therefore, the tonglen practice, I think, like that. And now, how are we going time? And then, used to be like half an hour, 1 hour is too long to give a teaching or discussion or so on. And then I keep doing it, like 2 hours also shortest for me, But, and then I invited the guest speaker. I say, okay, we're going to have a 2-hour session. What 2 hours, like, let's do 45 minutes, 15-minute question answer. So I'm doing, like 2 hours all the time. Then I just reduce 1.5 hours because some of them, they're busy, has to go back home and, late, so something like that. So it's kind of, this is what we listening and talking, it's very energetic, and also gain a lot of your immune system, like we all talk about positivity and, normal we talk about negative stuff, like, you just talk about all artificial stuff, and it doesn't help you, doesn't help he or she, it doesn't help environment, doesn't help country, doesn't help anything. So just saying, all bunch of garbage, like, so when we say verbally negative and increase negative energy. Think about minute we talk about positive, next level we change to positive. We also physically change our face and things like that. So therefore, live on positive also a hard thing to do. So something like that, and I want think about it, this one, last one, and 8 mundane concern. 8 mundane concern. So that's also number one enemy. 8 mundane concern. So in the mundane concern, we just, so 8 mundane concern, gain and loss, fame and disgrace, price and blame, and then pleasure and pain, right? No one desire to be pain. Yeah. So, when somebody's pain, if I kind of experiencing, I don't get a pain, but I get a really emotional destructive. So then first positive sense, what really I can do for her. It blocks, lying and cheating and, all the other negative blocks, because you really feel their pain and their sadness and things like that. So that's why the negative eats your immune system. You just low energy, and all the negative will be rise through that. So living in positivity is very important, and long run positivity. And then, we experiencing negative, but positive will be minimized. So at mundane concern, I think that's it. So if you have questions, Lama, and anything, discussion is very important for us. Discussion is very important, and also discussion is meaningful discussion. Means you just study and really you do little your homework, and then discussion is good. Other than that, why is this yellow? Why is not the red? It's not like that. There's behind. When we used to do Zen mandala, and people come and, why is that yellow? Why is that not green? Like that. I said we have a explanation of the entire mandala over there. Read that and come back, and you might have a better question. So something like that. We have to do our homework really. If you're interested, you put your all energy. You just do homework. One day you go to school, next day they won't give you doctorate degree. You have to pay so much money, so much time, everything at the end, you get degree. So therefore, Dharma also, it's something to do with your consciousness level. A Buddhist believe it carries in many lifetimes. So we go and clothing and shoes and so on. My families, they go in areas, we can return after a year or something like that. Good quality and stuff. So these are good quality. It's live in your consciousness level, not only this lifetime. Then, you really think well. Okay, so Lama have these have a question. Lama will answer you. If I can, I will answer you. So, main is your life, you're responsible, and your happiness, you have to own it. So you can extend it love to your loved one. Okay.
So when using the microphone, it has to be really close, correct? But maybe the overhead mic is working too. Can we tell from someone remotely if it's easier to hear? Somebody's thumbs up or something? No, maybe? Okay.
Hi, good morning. I just had a question about the last part of the 5th verse. where it says, I will take defeat upon myself and give the victory to others. How do you apply that? How do you even do that?
Lama, you want to answer that?
Now I need the money back.
First Lama's version, then my version.
Geshe-la is very clever. The words are supposed to be evocative and powerful, of course, but I would say once we get a little angry, we can notice that, right, and then avert it. But once you go into I'm right, then you're kind of your fingers on the trigger, and then you go I have to win. Then you're pulling the trigger, and then when you have revenge, then the bullet goes out, right? So when it's saying this, it's not the usual kind of like, hey, just let them win. It's like, let's not play that game of I'm right, and then I need to win, and then I get revenge, like that. So it's a little bit like the story King Solomon. The two women are arguing over whose baby it is, and then it goes on, long story, and Solomon says, well, here's the solution, we'll just cut it in half, right? And then everyone knows the story. Then one of the women says, that's okay, you can have the baby. So which one's the real mother? Yeah, that one. So it's a little like that. That's that kind of story, like that. This is not, we're not talking politics here, but the world of creating harmony. But most people, when they get angry, get self-righteous, and then they want to take revenge, which is hurting the other person plus, right? So it's very difficult. So these days, with the world and politics, people don't know how to. They don't know what to do except to get angry, right? So we have to say, no, there's another way to, work with impermanence, work with change, work with anger, instead of just totally getting angry back, So something like that. Now Geshe Gendun can give the right answers.
I have two funny things to say. Like there's a intelligent mother, and she has 9 children, okay, and she cooked 9 egg, okay, 9 boiled egg, and she gave each children 1 egg. 9, including mother, there's 10, right? She 9 children. She cooked 9 egg, and then give each children each egg. So after they say, "Oh, Mom, you don't have it," and they each kid give half eggs. She got to eat 4.5 eggs. Then other thing is, like I told you before, Buddhism is all about practical level, and that means like such as generosity practice. And if you are high level of generosity practice, you can do it. You can give your eye, you can give your body parts, and so on, so on. If you are not ready, just give little monies and little clothing. So, so it's kind of level of practice, level of your generosity practice you can experiencing. Then you can get next level, So, now it's like Apple phone is like 17, you know. There was not 17 in the beginning. There's one, right? They upgrade. And so your practice also upgrade. This is the highest level of practice. You give for others everything. So when you're capable, you have no hesitation. You reach that level. Now you go to Apple store, I give you $1 million, I want Apple version 1. They say, no, sorry. I give you $1 million, you know. You don't want I want $1 million, but I don't have it, you know, like level 1, something like that. Beginning, you do whatever you can, your best, not entire things to others. Victoria, so you just keep little, you know, like one bread, I cannot give you a whole thing. Let's take half. Let's take 3/4, something like that. It's a level changes, so.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, we do.
Is this on?
Yes.
Thank you, Geshe Gendun. I was thinking about a conversation I had recently with a colleague, and we were talking about our current president, and that colleague says, I cannot have even 1 ounce or any empathy whatsoever. And I thought about that for a minute because I was thinking about a definition of empathy, and it made sense to me that that person couldn't have any empathy. And I said, what about compassion? Can you have compassion? And like with understanding and the wish for that person to be happy and to stop suffering. And still, I think a lot of people who don't understand karma can't fathom empathy, sympathy, compassion, being in another person's shoes, or even a wish for them to be happy. This revenge idea, I guess, comes back. But how what kind of things can I say or do to help other people who don't understand karma?
Yeah, it's very difficult. I also bothering very much. That doesn't affect on my daily life, but it's kind of more these poor people suffers. That's bothering me the most, you know. And so, you know, it's a very difficult to answer it, you know. Like I have a very good friend, the Catholic priest. He loved Trump. He's a really good person, but you know. But he said, "I know, I know you are Democratic, but you know, like, you know." He said, "I love you, but you know, it's kind of difficult. Difficult. So, and what my tactic, what I use is, even we have a different understanding, different politics, so on. I said, let's talk about that thing. You know, let's talk about what the common interests. You know, so that's ruins, you know, my happiness and their happiness, and the worst things, we become enemy because you love this one, he hate this one, so he love this one, you hate this one. So it's kind of lately I'm doing seeing my old friends and families. We just talk something you know, positive, what it's good for all of us. You know, normal people says whoever comes to the White House, no one give you anything free. You have to own it yourself. So, you know, I think you can tease them. And I said, when COVID-19 comes, I said, did you vaccinate it? I said, no, I'm Republican. I don't. Then they said, I was lucky to took a Johnson and Johnson, like one subsidies two, So I say, I'm not deny vaccination, not two vaccination, one vaccination, middle path, It's kind of, this just something you can tease them and have fun rather than argue about too much. And then everywhere there is all kinds of things. But my question is how we become like this. That's my question. And years ago, like Bush was very bad during that time. Yeah, this country is so bad, leaders bad. Why are you going back to America? I said, I'm going to my friends and family. I'm not going for them, so something like that. And I think it's time will heal. But everybody wish time will be tomorrow. Everything's like that, You get paid like end of the month, so you have to wait end of the month or beginning month. You have to wait it, So it's kind of time heals. Otherwise, otherwise there's not much point to arguing and explanation and so on. Some of them they think he's one of I met somebody said Trump is great. Otherwise we are done. He complete opposite. Then I didn't say anything. Just there's no point to telling him, or I cannot straighten him out because he's completely brainwashed by. So he see it. And also this, my friend father says, I think Trump will do good thing, but it's hurting my friends, their deportation. I know some people, they are deportation, so it's hurting my feeling, but I hope he will do good thing, and it's turned better, something like that. So there's not much really point, So just if you can have a fun joke, So yeah, like that.
Thank you very much for this transmission and teaching. As I read through this, there was just one line that kind of made me bristle a little bit, that it feels different from what I've been practicing personally. And the line is, I will regard myself as the lowest among all. Part of my path is to see everybody as equal, or see myself equal. Nothing is above me, nothing is below me, and we are all divine. And see that in myself has been a big part of my path to value myself as divine also. And in the past, I've been in some unhealthy relationships where I put somebody on a pedestal and it became abusive. And I don't want to give too much personal information. So I'm just curious about that. And maybe I have a misperception that you can help me with.
Yeah, Lama, you say.
So the way I look at the 8 verses is a way to train ourselves so we stay in a balanced state of mind, so we can make good decisions and do good things. It's not necessarily a 10 commandments. So when, and it's kind of addressed to somebody already that says, I'm pretty stable, I'm doing okay, because I've done a lot of practice. Let's say you've done all the practices, all the Lamrim, all the Didi Yoga, you've done Mahamudra and Dzogchen, and then you're very stable, and then you should get 8 verses, right? So then we should do this practice. Okay. In a way, it's beginning and end. Is actually, so it's not about like what do you do when someone breaks into your house? See, we're reading this like 10 commandments. You want to say, okay, I'm still stuck. I still get hooked. I still get unnecessarily angry and revengeful and stuck. What do I really do? So this is getting us unstuck. So it's not Western psychology at all. Say it's not self-esteem issues and stuff like that. It's like we already have a real insight into interdependence and no self and impermanence and nature of awareness. But even with all those, we still have this little stuckness, right? Because generally, even highly evolved people don't like the 8. We get stuck in 8 worldly concerns, right? No, we don't want. Maybe it's like, okay, no big deal if you lose something. That's okay. We lose something, or no big deal if there's a little bit of pain. But it's very difficult to handle praise and blame, because almost everybody likes to say you've done a good job. And then almost everybody wants to be noticed instead of ignored. So this is actually very high-level training, but even doing it now, starting, then we can know, like, oh, this is really helping me totally be evolved. So it's not a 10 commandment particularly like that. But as Geshe-la says, it's also extremely practical. So it helps us to check our mind, like, am I trying to win this one? Am I trying to dominate, get on top of it? Of course, we want it to be even, so we're saying, we want to, like, look at evenly, but we can notice, like, so often we want to get on top. So we do it like, oh, okay, I don't have to win this one. I can be lowest. So it's teaching words, right? It's not like solid doctrine so much. It's not like you go around going, I'm the lowest of all, I'm dirt, and therefore I'm doing dharma. It's like when we notice, because we're paying attention, we've already done a lot of shamatha vipassana training. You've done all the groups here, you've done lots of retreats, and you still go, well, this is really weird. I'm still, when I get praised, I think, oh, I really am that. Or when we get blamed, we think, I really am that. Or when we get lost, we lose jewelry, we get robbed, we get broken into, and then we think, oh, I'm really attached. So it's meant to, like, even the middle way. So it helps us readjust a little bit like that. But of course, in every case, people are a little bit different. But it's working with a sense of self and identity in a very sophisticated way, but a very practical way. So one of the benefits of being Lama is constantly I'm being blamed. So I can course correct when I start thinking, oh, I'm really great, I'm really doing a good job. Then people say, no, you didn't do this right. So then I can, thank you, okay, now there's even like that. We're most helpful, wise, when we're even and balanced and we see things directly like that. But it's very tricky. Everybody likes to be praised and not blamed. So when people come to me and say, when do I get to be Lama? This happens. I said, do you like to be blamed? Do you like to have loss? And they go, no, of course not. Going, okay, you're not ready yet. So it's very difficult to maintain equanimity, which is so important if we want to be free and benefit others like that.
I guess that's where I'm
very difficult.
confused, because lowest isn't equal.
I know, but it's like this, like Jack Kornfield, who's many people know for helping to found Spirit Rock and Marin, went to be a monk for a while and studied with Ajahn Chah. And Jack got annoyed like everybody does after a while and went to the teacher and said, I don't get it. Sometimes you say this to one people, and then sometimes you say that to somebody else. It's just all confusing. You seem to be talking out both sides of your mouth. And Ajahn Chah said, well, it's like this. I see you walking down the road, and sometimes I see you falling into the ditch on the right. So I say, go left. And sometimes you're going over to the left side, so I say, go right. So it's about helping to correct in the middle path instead of holding on to a particular position. And the middle way is very difficult because we always go to extremes. We love extremes. So even the Buddha, after his enlightenment, thought, you know, maybe this is going to be too tough. The jungle's very nice. But fortunately, he remembered he had a few students that he could, you know, communicate to, so he walked back to the deer park. That's just my opinion today. I've used up all your time, Geshe-la. You're off the hook.
My opinion is a little bit like Indian Tibetan culture. I think humbleness is like, so, you know, we all know Dalai Lama says, I'm not smartest one, I'm not highest, and I know a little bit. You know. Always our great teachers, they are realized when we see it, but they just humbleness, you know, like, so I don't know anything. You know, like, so His Holiness, two tutors, when they give a teaching, say, I think this much I know, you just, you know, debate and analyze yourself. So just kind of humbleness, and also you judge yourself, how much you know, where your level is, rather than let people judge you. So these kind of things. So it's and if you can be humble, and then there is more people will love you, like you, respect you, you know. So humbleness is like maybe the more or less like Tibetan culture and Indian culture. And I think when you say I don't know, you know it, and now you will judge, you know, like highest thing, because you see it, you hear his teaching, and so on, so on. And when you're being humble, it is so much beneficial your own, and you know, you don't want people to judge you. You know, you're just being humble; they will not judge you. I usually tease my niece and nephews. Don't wear so expensive clothing and food and clothing and shoes and whatever. They'll say, "Who is that?" Oh, I know their parents. There's their uncle. They're all, you know, going through us. You know, like you're wearing like expensive stuff. They're going through who you are, where you're from, what do you do, what their parents are, where their money come from. You know, all this stuff. Be a normal, be a simple, and people leave you alone. Yeah, so, something like that, really. I just think about it. Yeah.
So it's difficult, but we're more effective when we take the middle way. So if we take a middle way and we're strong with equanimity, then we will be able to address injustice and inequalities from a much more stable position. And it will have more lasting impact. So of course, you know, when sometimes we read 8 verses, you think, oh my God, this is the codependence Bible, right? So, yeah. So it's coming from a different place of it has to be contextualized and needs, of course, this is Geshe said, reading, transmission, explanation, because it's meant to keep us in the most powerful place. The most powerful place is in the middle, always. The middle way is the most powerful. So that's why the Buddha said, I do not teach the extremes of nihilism or eternalism, you know, self-indulgence or, you know, being anorexic, you know. I teach the middle way. And a lot of times people see that as kind of, well, there's no power in that. But there's an immense power in it. And that's why we have to stay to the middle way, particularly at Lions for Dharma Center, you know, particularly, you know, following path of Dalai Lama, right? So fortunately, has been totally consistent, right, in his teaching. He didn't say, well, I tried doing nonviolence and middle way for 50 years now. Right now I'm quitting. Dalai Lama just keeping doing the same. So it looks as though sometimes we're losing. If you take the middle way position, it looks like you're sometimes losing, but we're actually going straight to the heart of things like that. So as Tom Hanks said in one of my favorite movies, A League of Your Own, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Yeah, we know it's a walk. We know it's a walk. We're at 12:30, so we probably should end here. We must have announcements, mustn't we? Yes. So, Susan, did you have an announcement? Okay. I'd like to do dedication after announcements. Because announcements are part of sacred Dharma, don't you think? We're announcing sacred Dharma things, right?
Yep. Yeah, yes. Just some upcoming things. So
Closer.
oh, there we go. Okay.
Even
And then-
closer.
Even closer. Oh goodness. Woo.
Treat it like it's a carrot that you're going to eat.
Yeah. So Patty, I'll let you do all the monk stuff, right? Okay. So what I wanted to remind everybody about is we have an upcoming retreat at the end of this month, 24th and 25th. Yeah. So and the registration is on Eventbrite. And we do need early registration because we are providing lunch, which means we need to have a count of how many people are going to be attending. So if you would like to attend a retreat, either both days or one day, either Saturday or Sunday, please register ASAP. Really would appreciate it. Another thing that is upcoming and will be on Eventbrite but is not there yet is Tenzen Chokyi is coming to teach in the Sustainable Service Program. She will be here Saturday, November 8th, and we are talking about everybody's favorite topic, conflict resolution. So, so that's coming up real quick. And then I wanted to, before turning this over to Patty, call your attention to our gorgeous Donna box. So on your way into the potluck afterwards, please drop a few dollars into the Donna box, and or we have also the donor box kiosk here, so you can pay with, you can give us a donation with either credit card or debit card. So I just wanted to remind you about that. And now it's Patty's turn.
Thank you, Susan. So Susan said 24th, 25th, and it's actually 25th, 26th.
Oops.
That's okay. But today at 2 o'clock, some of us are going to carpool to a place called Yoga Creatives to watch the dissolution ceremony of a Tara mandala. And Geshe Gendun has accepted our request to go with him, and Lama Jinpa as well. And so I have little pieces of paper with the address in a little basket at the door. So we also will have a potluck beforehand. And then, so tomorrow at 6 o'clock here, we're going to have an opening ceremony with the Langri Institute monks here, and that's from 6 to 7. And that's the start of us having a Medicine Buddha mandala created here with our friends from Langri Institute. 6 p.m. 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. here. And this Medicine Buddha mandala will be here. They'll be working on it every day from 10 to 6, Tuesday through Saturday, and then Sunday we'll have a dissolution ceremony here. And let me think if I can think of anything else. I think I'm going to hand it over to Lama Jinpa.
Linda's waving her arm wildly. Linda.
No entering the path tomorrow.
Oh, it is entering. Linda was mentioning no entering the path, but actually entering the path is going on. It's just as it's going on as an opening ceremony for the Langri Institute monks. So they're both going to happen at the same time.
Announcements are important because they create the world of intention. So I do want to change the service a little bit in the future. So we do the announcements and then we do the dedication. That makes sense, right? Okay, good. I'm looking at people that are smiling at me, you know. So I'm really thankful for Geshe-la to be here. I've requested Geshe-la to come more than once a year. I think it'd be nice if he came twice a year at least. So I know he's listening, you know. Yeah, okay. The chaplaincy program is, one of the most unique programs we do here, and it means we're working not just with people that identify as Buddhists that come here, but going out in the community and working with people that have just pain and they need comforting. So without working with others that don't agree with us or even disagree with us, we're not going to mature. So a benefit of my therapy practice is I'm working with a large number of people. Most do not, say they're Buddhist. So they have no affiliation, or they're Christian or Muslim or Sikh or something like that. I'd also like to say a little bit, like even people that voted for President Trump have been or are my patients, and some of them are doing a lot of, the people's ability to have work and work hard on themselves has nothing to do with your affiliation. That's important to know. Yeah. So that's one way I like to dialogue. In any case, we're not doing a kata line, so I'd like to give all the donations from today to Geshe-la. So on your way out, this is not going to some anonymous person. We will collect them and give to Geshe-la this afternoon. Okay, so it makes sense. That way we can keep moving. But the dissolution ceremony, Patty, isn't really till 3, right? We're just leaving it to. Okay, all right. All right, then let's do dedication. Can we put dedication up on the board? Due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of Guru Buddha and lead all living beings without exception into that enlightened state. May the supreme jewel, bodhicitta, that has not arisen, arise and grow. May that which has arisen not diminish, but increase more and more. In the land circled by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All-powerful Chenrezi Tenzen Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. We should back up and do Jada Rinpoche's, please. Those the teachings remain forever. May happiness, may all fulfill their ultimate goals. Prayer to Lama Tsongkhapa. Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of objectless compassion. Manjushri, master, flawless wisdom. Vajrapani, destroyer of the entire host of Mars. Tsongkhapa, crown jewel, the snowy land sages. Losang Drakma, I make request at your holy feet. Very good. So maybe exit out go this. No, you have your shoes. Maybe put your shoes on and then go this direction. So thank you so much for today. Let's have some music. We get to walk out the front, but you guys have to come back this way for the offering.
Got it.
Okay, no music? No music. Next time.
Oh, nice.
Omo.